Hello, everybody. LK here, back again with Dalton, and we are here for another bad comic beatdown. How you doing today, Dalton?
I'm doing okay. E gave us the keys again and has yet to realize his mistake, so mwahaha.
And today we've got another treat in store for everybody. This is Captain Marvel #5, or as I like to call it, Let's Meet Yuna's Parents. And oh, by the way, there's a page or two of action in it.
I I
We've
need
been,
I, I need absinthe. I have
yeah,
absinthe. I have come prepared.
you will need that. Hope you got lots of sugar cubes nearby as well too, because I don't want you just drinking it straight from the bottle. Although I might drive you to
Unfortunately,
that.
no, which means I might have to do this over. And all the gods help me, please.
So let's get started. This is a book so far. It's absolutely awful. It's by Alyssa Wong. The art's average to mediocre. Um, it has very little to do with Carol and more to do with Alyssa Wong's self-insert character, who is Yuna Yang, and you can see her here on the front cover.
A thief
So
of
one,
magical artifacts who knows nothing about magic. And you can
yeah,
guess how many times that has caused me to stroke by now.
yeah. So we'll go through here the summary for those of you who haven't been following along with our Captain Marvel reads. Petty thief Yuna Yang was attempting to steal the Nega bands from Genisvel, the original Captain Marvel, when an energy son of the original Captain Marvel. When an energy absorbing villain named the Omen attacked, desperate, she slapped the Nega bands on her own wrist. It reactivated and bonded her to Captain Marvel, aka Carol Danvers. Now mind linked, Yuna and Carol swap places whenever they clang the bands together, with one of them becoming stuck in the negative zone. Dun dun dun.
By the way, that has never been a power that the negative bands has ever evidenced throughout the entire history.
Yeah. So, of course, Omen wants those bands enough to enchant Genisvel and send him after the captain. What's more, Omen's magic seems to have a corrupting influence. It's spreading through the bands to weaken Yuna. With the help of Doctor Strange and his sorcerer wife, Clea, Carol and Yuna retrieved a magical box from the negative zone that was meant to give them answers, but when they opened it, it released a dangerous entity, an energy eater and mastermind behind Omen, known as the Undone. And when we left off in issue 4, the Undone offered to free Yuna from the Negabands in exchange for Yuna becoming another one of her omens. And Yuna accepted. So,
Never mind that the negative zone is not a magical dimension, and therefore this should not make any freaking sense.
well, I mean, when you look at the people that are involved with this production, do you expect a book to have
No,
logic
but
and make
but
sense?
it is my job to point such things out, and so I'm just because they are entirely incompetent for the job that life has given them does not mean I have to be. So
Yeah.
there.
All right. Well, here we go. We're back in the Sanctum Sanctorum. We're picking up right where we left off. And
Mm.
so here we go. We've got, so you see the little star here. So that means it's Carol's um, uh, voiceover narration. So I've been told I'm under good under pressure. If you need someone to get things done in an emergency, you pick me. I can't spectate. I need to be in it, fixing it. And of course, Carol there in kind of her mind/astral form saying, Yuna, don't. As she's about to take the ring from the Undone here. She says, watching a disaster unfold and not being able to do anything about it is agonizing. And Yuna says, looks up plaintively, you can fix the Negabands so their corruption won't kill me? Oh, Yuna, with my gift, nothing will be able to kill you. You will
Okay,
outlast
stop.
every star in every galaxy and eternity as my omen. Yes, Dalton.
The sheer lack of telling and not showing that just happened I can't even with, because you know what would be spectacular is if Yuna didn't have to say all that shit, especially not aloud,
Yeah.
but instead we got to see it through her character and or actions. But because this character has no character and or has done exactly nothing to indicate that she has any skills whatsoever, she has to say it and say it in dialogue, lest we would not know.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
here we've got
go back to the melodrama.
yeah.
I
So
just
here
had to
we've
point
got
that out.
Carol. She of course is in the negative zone, going, "Let me out, damn it, damn these negative bands." It makes me feel helpless and afraid. And of course, if Yuna doesn't clang them together, then she's stuck where she is until the energy runs out. Of course, furious, and Yuna saying, "Wait, show me you're telling the truth. Such small proof you should ask for, but very well. I've only removed the smallest thread, but you already feel your strength returning, don't you?" I do. Thank you. As the undone there is slipping the ring onto Yuna's finger. And I'm just going to say, maybe from that perspective, it looks like she's only got 3 fingers, but, okay. Art, kids. And then Yuna pulls her hand away. Oh, there's the magical fourth finger. But I've been thinking about your offer, and actually, I think I'll pass. But thanks for the ring, though. What? And Yuna slams down the box, and the villain is gone.
What in all of the anticlimaxes to ever anticlimax? One,
Yeah. Well,
you
we
would
can see
think that the ring itself would have some sort of corrosive magic too that would make the offer unavoidable once you put it on. But
Yeah.
what the frick do I know?
Yeah. Well, you can see here that there's a little tiny box that the undone is coming out of. This is the box that they recovered through all their shenanigans in the past 2 issues. And so obviously, despite it being this gigantic thing, the box was more or less unprotected, and she was able to just slam her foot down on the box. And of course, her reaction is, "Oh God, that was terrifying. I hope I never have to bluff against a cosmic horror show ever again." She falls on her butt.
What is this dialogue? And what is with the telling and not showing? She should be like, don't have her say out loud that she is afraid. Have her be afraid, god damn it.
But she's not afraid. That's the whole point. That's the greatness of Yuna Yang here. Yeah. So, Jonah, don't worry. A lot of people are lost, but it's a really stupid story. And this is Alyssa Wong's self-insert character. She's a thief of mystical objects who's also in college. So Yuna says, "But hey, look, I got the Undone's ring." Carol's like, "And you think that makes everything okay?" "Yes." "No." "Are you seriously
Good
mad
for
because I
you,
didn't fill
Captain
in?"
Marvel, for talking common sense for 5 seconds. I'll let it stand. 1 point, fine.
But then we get the Gen Zer arrogance. "Are you seriously mad because I didn't fill you in on my plan beforehand? I was making it up on the fly. Sorry I didn't run it past you first, Captain." Of course, Carol takes on the motherly role here. "I'm mad because you could have died, or worse. You're so unconcerned with your own safety. I'm trapped here and I can't protect you." And of course, Yuna's response is, "Hey, it's okay. I'm all right. I didn't realize you cared that much about me, Carol." And of course, Carol there says, "You're ridiculous." And Yuna says, "Well, I'm not a hero like you. I can't fly or punch gods through buildings. But we're partners and I want to pull my weight. This ring is a start." And a lead.
On the topic of pulling your weight, dear, maybe you shouldn't play cosmic goddamn Russian roulette while you're staring down a Lovecraftian horror. Just saying. But whatever.
Yeah. And so here we are in whatever space the Undone's in. How dare she? I have existed since before time itself, consuming the energy of worlds forgotten forever. And this child thinks she can best me?
Why are you worried? She has your ring, which I assume contains the exact same corruptive magic, perhaps even stronger than the one that was in the bands. So shouldn't she be bound to you simply by virtue of putting it on because the ring is enchanted with your power? Like, maybe I've just been reading way too much, magic lore, both in reality and in various superhero universes for a long time, but typically that's how these sorts of bargains go. The taking of the ring is the signifier of accepting the bargain.
Yeah. Well, I'm guarantee that you've done much more research than Alyssa Wong has. But no matter, I know where you are. As long as my omen, my beacon to your world exists, my will shall be done. So, of course,
So this guy's
the Undone
basically
here
discount
still have,
Dormammu that isn't Dormammu.
basically two acolytes, the Omen here, and then the resurrected Genis Vale here, who still has the hole through his chest, all the way back from issue 1. And then it seems like the Undone is speaking to Omen through her wings there. Let's offer her a taste of the blessing I would have bestowed upon her. Power that eclipses the gods. Every fragment of energy taken by my Omen feeds me, guides me closer to her.
I'm just gonna start calling this guy Discount Dormammu because they basically stole Dormammu's entire shtick.
Yeah. So take my Omen as they go crashing through something here. Oh, it turns out actually they are crashing through the windows of the Sanctum Sanctorum,
which should be enchanted to prevent such things, but never the Dark Mind.
Yeah, so bring me Captain Marvel as you did Genis Vale and the mega bands to bind her. As they start attacking Doctor Strange and Clea and Carol because the bands finally gave up and basically rubber banded Carol back to the 616 and kicked Yuna into the negative zone. And so there's our page, our one panel of action.
And we will return to Slice of Life presently, because why not?
Yeah, the Undone knows you're here. And of course, Doctor Strange, with his usual quips, well, people stop breaking into my house. Instant repair spells don't write themselves,
Well, the problem you have there, not Steven, is instant is the phrase.
I didn't realize that Doctor Strange was the Marvel Universe comedian.
He isn't.
That's great.
He's the Marvel Universe's wise old wizard, but fuck if the writers can remember that every goddamn time they write him nowadays.
Yeah. And so here's the possessed Genis Vale saying, I'm just here for you, Carol. Come quietly, as he tries to blast her with some dark energy. And Carol goes, when have you ever known me to do that, Genis Vale? And Yuna, in the negative zone, because their mind link, says, well, how do the bands feel now? And Carol says, hey, a lot better. They're leeching less of my power. I'm stronger than I've been in ages. So once again, Yuna did the right thing, which is a common theme through the first 4+ issues of this book.
And did it by explicitly doing the wrong thing, but never mind.
Yep. No consequences for her actions. Unfortunately, so is she. And Omen saying, go on, feed me, your energy sorcerers. I'll have it all. And I will have Captain Marvel as she spreads her wings wide. And the Undone, they're also speaking through the perfect everlasting battery. So they want to suck Carol dry because she's a living, ball of energy.
Yeah, because she has bottomless energy, therefore can feed them forever. Blah.
And so Omen blasts her there with more things. This isn't the same person I fought before. She's so much stronger now. And Clea notes, that aura, those eyes in her wings, she's channeling the Undone. They both are. And Steven says, Carol, think of somewhere safe. And Carol goes, what? Just do it. Steven, go. She wants you, and I'm not letting that happen. And so Stephen Strange opens up a portal to pull Carol in to somewhere. Carol saying, no, I'm not leaving you. And Clea says, yes, you are, and shoves Carol through the portal.
By the way, Clea, you are half Faultine, my love. Shouldn't you be able to do something against this kind of entity, considering that your Uncle Dormammu and Mother Umar are a similar variety of entity?
Yeah. Well, is that why Clea's got bat wings now?
They never fully standardized her Faultine form, but
Okay.
sure, I'll allow it. It's
Okay.
fine.
Just because I had noticed previously here, I'm like, wait a minute. When did Clea get wings? But okay, whatever.
She can shapeshift because she's part energy being.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But
So Jonah, yeah, aren't they, small fry to Doctor Strange? Shouldn't he just one shot both of them with ease and just beat the
they both
BBEG?
should, considering that
Yeah,
Clea
but
single-handedly in I believe the 70s, but it might have been the 80s, threw her uncle Dormammu out of the dark dimension on his ear and took over the dark dimension herself.
yeah.
That's
So
why she
now
hasn't
we
been
hit
around for decades,
yeah,
because
yeah.
she's
So
been
now
busy
now we
ruling
hit
the dark dimension.
the main point of this issue. So Carol lands on a floor of a seemingly innocuous apartment, and somebody says, "What exactly is an Avenger doing in my house?" Dun dun dun. We see what looks like a mom and a couple of kids, and Yuna pops in. Oh God, it's my mom. You got to let me handle this one. And Carol goes, "Yep," and smacks the bands together, and Yuna is switching places, and she goes, "Uma, hey," and of course the mother figure here says, "Of course this is your fault, Yuna. Did you get caught stealing from the Avengers? What is my number one rule?" And the two boys say in unison, "Don't get caught." And she goes, "Exactly. Don't bring trouble home." And what did you do?
I hate you already.
And of course, it seems like the older brother is going, "Wait, are you dating an Avenger?" And Yuna quickly goes, "No, she's just a friend." A special friend? A normal friend. Ha ha ha. The
Of
younger brother
course, that is
says,
the first question. Why wouldn't that be the first question in
"Yeah,
2024?
yeah, well, because they deal with this stuff all the time." The younger brother goes, "You don't have normal friends." And of course, sigh, brothers were a mistake. And we're going to just assume, yeah, it's mom says, "Might as well make yourself useful while you're here. Help your brother set the table." Eunice trying to complain, saying, "Mom, I can't stay." And her mom says, "After I slaved and sweated over this meal." And she goes, "Mom, those are takeout fried chicken wings, and they're not going to eat themselves, so set those plates." Ha ha ha, more family hilarity. And then we see,
I mustn't just drink the absinthe uh undiluted, but I'm tempted. I'm
chug it
severely
straight out of the bottle.
I need the absinthe.
So here we can see a little bit later the table's set. People are starting to dig in. Carol pops into her mind form, telling "Hey, your family's wild," and she goes, "You don't know the half of it." And her mom is all matter of fact, saying, "I see. So this is all because of the Negabands. Evan, do your contacts know anything about them or the Omen?" Big Brother says, "Oh, I'll
Why?
check."
Why
And
do you random schmucks know anything about anything? And
well,
what the
be
hell?
patient. Be patient. We're about to learn. So Yuna explains, "My older brother Evan runs a network of information brokers." And Carol says, "I've never heard of him." And Yuna explains proudly, "He's never been caught." "Manners, Georgie. We have company." And Yuna explains, "My little brother Georgie is still in high school. For some reason, he wants to be a civil engineer." My mom, well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but once upon a time, she could have given Black Cat a run for her money. So now we learn that it's a family of basically criminals that Yuna is from. And Yuna further explains, "I started stealing to pay off my student loans, but I've known how to do this kind of stuff my entire life." And Carol looks over
How
your
did
dad.
you get student loans in the first place if you come from an entire family of thieves?
Yeah,
Because surely that should have raised some red flags in the background checks. No.
yeah. So Carol asks, "Your dad," and Yuna starts to say he's, and mom quickly interrupts, "Yuna, are you going to eat without sharing? Bring back the other girl so she can have dinner too." and said, I'd rather talk to her. And Yuna says, good luck. And boom, Carol pops right into where Yuna was, and she's holding a chicken wing for some reason, even though there's not one in Yuna's hand, but sure, okay, whatever. Carol says, thank you. Yuna was just telling me about her dad. And she says, my husband, he was the light of my life. We met at work and it was love at first sight. And of course, Yuna helpfully explains, meaning she stole secrets from his company and he almost caught her. And she goes on, it's been 10 years since I lost him in the accident. Oh, it was horrible. Carol replies, I'm so sorry to hear that, ma'am. And sorry to hear what? Oh, we have a guest. Hi, Dad. Look, sweetie, Yuna brought back an Avenger. And Carol's shocked, going, what the hell?
Wait, why is Carol not reacting to the fact that she's in a room full of thieves who make like career criminality their thing?
Yeah, and then of course the brother going, haha, the look on your face, and the husband saying, baby, are you telling guests that I'm dead again? And Carol's going, this is too much, I'm switching back. So yes, this basically it's Alyssa Wong writing her little dumb sitcom. I mean, this is what
suddenly sitcom.
Yeah.
A really, really bad sitcom that makes no sense, but suddenly sitcom anyway.
Yeah, and then a little bit later here, Mom saying, make sure to share those leftovers with Carol. Yuna says, you gave Carol her own bag to take back to the negative zone. Anyway, it's been great to see you, but Mom says, Yuna, stay safe. They all hug together as a family. Dad saying, you can always call us if you need help.
Wait, so there's not even going to be a plot-relevant reason for this random family interlude, or any consequences or character building with this random family interlude?
Yeah, not bad. And of course, we have here now Swap with Carol. She's a much better choice than the others you've introduced us to. Somebody says, I still think the gloomy one's a wizard. Never date a wizard. What about that Lenore? I liked her. So obviously talking about other things, because of course they're progressive, so they fully accepted her daughter being, their daughter being a lesbian and whatever.
But suddenly never date a wizard. Very much fuck you, thanks. But whatever.
Well, it seems like they steal magical artifacts, so they know, not to get in bed with a wizard. But anyway, Yuna says, I think they've adopted you. She clangs the bands back together, and now Carol gets the family hug. Welcome to the family. You'll never get rid of us now. Oh, God. Well, I will say Carol will get rid of them by the time that when this book gets canceled in about 6 to 10 issues. And Alyssa Wong slinks back to.
We can but hope. But somehow I feel like the modern day writers might keep them around as comedic side characters, like the stupid goddamn ghost dog that they gave to Doctor Strange, who won't ever go away for some reason.
Yeah. So now we switch over our action to Harpswell Sound in Maine, and Carol saying, we're almost at my house. Sorry, I accidentally sent us to Queens instead of like space or here. Hanging out someplace in the negative zone, because of course it's perfectly fine to just hang out anywhere in the negative zone. I'm glad I got to see them one last time, just in case I don't make it out of this. Of course, Carol says, you will. I'll protect you, all of you, because the Undone won't stop here. If she can't get to me, she'll come for anyone close to me. I won't let the Omen or the Undone touch you. And Yuna, I'm sorry about Genisvale. As again, we get the weird rules about what you can and can't take out of the negative zone, but okay. Then Carol's saying, Marvell was family, sometimes more family to me than I had at home. Now Janice, Phyla, all of us Marvels, we're all we've got. Family is precious, and I don't want to lose anyone else.
Wait, I might be out of the Captain Marvel loop some bit, but has Carol Danvers, prior to the modernizing of her, ever viewed the other Marvels as family in some way? Because I did not know that was a thing. I might just be out of the loop, though.
I honestly can't tell you for certain. I mean, I know she cared about Genisvale.
But, like, has it ever been addressed like this? Has it ever been addressed as, like, a Marvel family sort of thing?
Oh,
because I don't think...
No. Certainly not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good. So I'm not going insane. This is as fringy and sterile and pulled right the frick out of nowhere as it looks.
Yeah,
okay.
And this whole line here of "we're all we've got" is going to be an interesting one we see later on, because she's got a picture of her half sister that's, I believe still the executioner, in
But
current
you see,
Marvel
every
times.
character is now written as a card-carrying person with narcissistic personality disorder, so
Yeah,
a person only matters to them insofar as it helps their grandiosity
yeah,
emerge.
yeah. So meanwhile, while all this was going on, the Sanctum Sanctorum has been basically ripped down to the studs, it looks like. Janice Vale's holding Stephen Strange by the neck, saying, "Where is she?" And Stephen says, "Gone. You weren't interesting enough to stick around for." And Stephen is distracting him. Clea hits him with a bolt of energy in the back, which forces him to let go of Stephen. Stephen,
I
of course,
don't care
the
how
master.
powerful the Omen makes Janice Vale. There
Yeah,
is no convincing way you can tell me that he has the power necessary to level the Sanctum Sanctorum like this.
yeah. And of course, I mean, Stephen,
The
being
entire
the master quipper that he is, says, "You almost hit me through the hole in his chest." And Clea says, "Unnecessary risk." More of that great
I
sitcom humor.
I
You can
hate this.
almost
I
hear
hate
the
this so
laugh
much.
track as you're reading this. Um,
I hate this so much. You
yeah.
have no idea how much I just want to burn everything because of this scene.
Well, hang in there. We're almost to the end of the issue. So Omen says, "They're bringing the portal. Stop them, Janice Vale." And he says, "Don't feel bad. Two Sorcerers Supreme are more than most people can handle, as the portal's about to close." And Janice going, "No!" and hits a blast of dark energy and blows some debris up. And Janice going, "I almost had our location if I just squeezed a little more." And Omen says, "Then we'd have a dead Sorcerer Supreme and no answers."
But
And Janice
okay.
looking, "I can barely feel the pull of the Negabands anymore." And the Undone speaking through and to Jenna, saying, "Patience. Their song is deadened, but it remains. Listen, and you will find them."
I once more am afraid going to have to be the continuity cop because ever since the mid 70s, Doctor Strange has possessed true immortality. He's one of the few characters who the sliding timescale doesn't need to apply to because he won true immortality off of Mistress Death when he was in a coma because Silver Dagger had stabbed him through the chest while he was meditating. So, like, how exactly were you planning to kill someone with true immortality? Because I don't think the Undone has that kind of power to just cancel out true immortality.
Yeah. No.
Not to mention the fact that Clea is half Vultine and therefore also is nigh impossible to kill. But
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
frick ever?
Yeah. So listen, you will find them. And just as my influence draws you to the Negabands, your energy draws me ever closer to your world. I am almost there, and when I am, you will never be alone again. I'm just going to point out this is where the art's not good, because this should be some kind of like body horror type stuff. And it
Something
just
Eldridge,
looks,
Lovecraftian,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it just looks like crap. I'm sorry. It looks generic. It looks the
Generic Void
colors.
Dimension number 1472.
Yeah, well, the colors are just poorly done. And then of course, Omen going, "Strange was right. What? If Captain Marvel cared about you, do you think she'd have left you with me? She would have tried to save you." Of course, obviously trying to manipulate a simple-minded Janice Vale. She goes, "Instead, she abandoned you, just like Rick. Poor Janice Vale. Can't count on anyone these days." She pulls a feather from her wings. I guess she can, apparently. She goes, They did, like I was a dead weight. I'm not." And he goes, "I know. So does the Undone. We see your worth, your strength, and believe me." As we see the Omen here, or the Undone, it looks like appearing to whoever was the Omen here in her human form, saying, "She is the only one who will never leave you." And so we switch from that back to Carol's house here up in Maine, and Yuna looking all happy, going, "So this is your non-Avengers home base." And Carol saying, "I used to spend summers here with my family. I've added all kinds of fortifications to it since then. That's the upside of working with tech geniuses and magicians. They're useful when they're not squabbling over petty, don't look under the panel, don't touch the panel under the microwave, Jeez, okay. Well, I can't touch anything right now. So,
The
haha.
casual condescension to both every scientific mind in the Marvel Universe and every magical mind in the Marvel Universe can
Yeah.
just go screw itself. Thanks.
So Yuna goes, I've been thinking. I know it's important for you to protect your family. Maybe you should let them protect you too. And Carol sighs and goes, yeah, and I've got a hell of a family. And of course, we see here what she's calling her family is this is supposed to be her half sister on her Cree side. Or is this Laura L? I forget what her damn name is, but she's now the executioner. But a good person. This is, I think, supposed to be Carol here in the middle, and of course, this is Hulkling, who is now the king of the Kree.
Oh, don't you dare bring my boys into this. If you bring my boys into this, then I'm declaring war on this comic.
Yeah. And yeah, Kree Skull Space, Emperor Hulkling. Carol, that was fat. Wait, Billy, get kaboom! As they're blown away. And hello, little brother. What? No welcome for me as the controlled and possessed Veil has made it all the way to Kree Skrull space from Earth. And
they're actually doing it. They're actually bringing my boys into this.
Yeah,
they have chosen death. I'm sorry.
And we leave off on that cliffhanger. Stay tuned next month for Captain Marvel #6.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you.
And then, of course, here's the most fun part of this book. You get to see the people that this book is aimed at. So the Carol Zone. Hey, Carol Corps, which, of course, Kelly Sue DeConnick started with her god-awful freaking run. Get ready for the return of guest artist Runeri Coleman next month, and I have no idea who that is, and I don't know when that person did a book. Fans of Kelly Thompson's run, one of your surely favorite characters is about to make an appearance. Oh, joy! Because that was a garbage run. So
of which people are you speaking? I'm fairly certain those people only exist in Bizarro World.
Yep. So till then, we've got, you've got questions. I mostly do not have the answers. Ha ha ha! More of that great sitcom humor. So
I've got a question.
Letter.
Why must you bring my boys into this travesty? And how many ways do you want to be tortured to death? Because I need to make a list.
Well, see, you would know that Carol considers them family, so that's why they're attacking him. So, but here's our first letter. Wow, I approve. This was intense. Prediction: this series will see the coming of Captain Marvel #200, which does not exist. Don't buy the legacy numbering bullshit. New costume, new characters, Janice Vale's return, and all wrapped up in an original, all action all the time. Where was the action?
Live.
Yeah, lies, all of it. First issue. Great.
When will the live end?
We know that Alyssa Wong likes to intro new characters, like in this very issue, right? But these are so much more superior to even the ones in Deadpool. By the way, how soon can we have our man Wade guest star here? Oh, for God's sake.
I will see your entrails as my belt before that happens, my dear.
Oh, for God's sakes. I can only imagine what a meeting between Princess and Chewie would entail. And of course, this is talking about cats here. New costume, too, for Carol. All pretty bold, I gotta say. I don't have cats anymore, or even a camera, believe it or not. But I'll send you this instead. A thumbs up. The Omen is a great name for a new villain. How come no one else has thought of that, especially with those movies named that? Hopefully Janice Vale, or should we call him Janice Evel, now, will stick around in that Jessica, Chewie, Hazmat, Tony Stark, Vale, and more supporting cast will be back soon. Cheers, Andrew J. Shaw.
That Evel pun physically hurt everything inside me.
Here's our next letter. Just finished issue #1 and we're already hooked. We wanted to share our Captain Marvel cosplay based on Jen's new design. Clearly, we were hooked before the issue even came out. Smiley face. Love seeing Carol in action in it. Thanks, Heather and Will. And let me just see if I can zoom in a little bit more here. Oops. We went a little too far here. Oops. Oops. Where'd it go? It doesn't like that. Let me see here if I can zoom this even further. To see
They do that again. I'm going for the absence.
That's about as good as it's going to get, folks. So if you take a look, I'm not sure if that's Heather or Will in the Captain Marvel outfit. We could possibly put up a vote, but I don't feel like doing it. The editor says, "Hey, this is awesome. Love the hair too. Dear Alyssa Wong and Captain Marvel crew, I have enjoyed the first 2 issues of the latest Captain Marvel book, and I love Carol's new suit, but I'm confused about one thing." Only one thing? Okay. What happened to Rick Jones? Last time we saw him in Peter David's Janice Vale Captain Marvel miniseries, Rick was once again bonded to Janice via the Negabands, just like Yuna and Carol are now. So with Janice being killed by Omen, what happened to Rick? Is he stuck in the negative zone? And the answer, great questions. We're not quite ready to answer them yet. Rick will pop up, though, so stay with us. Great, Rick Jones is coming in. Dearest Carol Corps, we are so back. Captain Marvel is experiencing something of a celebration right now with an excellent movie in cinemas.
That's it. I have to. I have to drink now. The absinthe is calling, and I need it.
With an excellent movie in cinemas and 3 comics all coming out around the same time, Dark Tempest has been a fun ride. Assault on Eden is one of the best one-shots I've read in a while, and this new ongoing is a thrilling reinvention of the concept. Bringing it back to a Marvel and Rick Jones style body swap adventure was a stroke of genius, and Yuna is just my kind of protagonist. And a classic Alyssa Wong protagonist too in every way, aka it's Alyssa Wong.
The burning from the straight absinthe is preferable to this nonsense.
Make mine Captain Marvel from Iron Fist eBooks in Leeds, UK. So there you go. Thank you from across the pond. Dear Carol Corps, this is my first time writing in. I am a recent reader to comics, but a longtime Carol Danvers fan. I was introduced to Carol in video games, and she quickly became my favorite Marvel character. So this was a fun one because I was trying to think about what video game this possibly could have been. And honestly, the only thing I could think of was either they saw the character in a mobile game, or they used to play Marvel, the Marvel MMO massive multiplayer online game back in the day, because there was a Captain Marvel Carol Danvers character in that. Because I can't think of her in any of the other recent games. But anyways, she quickly became my favorite Marvel character. This run has been interesting so far. I've gotten all the variant covers. Her new outfit is absolutely gorgeous. I like how so far the run parallels the Marvels somewhat with the switching places. I love the movie and have seen it 3 times already. Well, that's 3 times more than I've seen.
So that is the caliber of... I'm just going to say it, the caliber of diseased mental patient we're dealing with.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to finding out more about Yuna and maybe seeing how Jessica would get along with her. Looking forward to the next one. Of course, she posted a picture of the Marvels. Christine Rowe. I'm so glad you're digging this, Christine. Welcome to the letters page. There's little I love more than seeing a fan write in for the first time. Yuna is so charming. Press X to doubt. I'm not surprised she's hooked you. In our last letter, hello, this is my first time ever writing in. I absolutely loved Alyssa Wong's run on Deadpool. So when I saw their name attached to a new Captain Marvel run, I just had to pick up. I just had to pick it up. I even subscribed to the series before reading issue number 1, and I never do that. I'm loving the series so far. Yuna is an interesting character, and I'm excited to learn more about her. I am loving the slightly more grounded Carol, but I absolutely would not mind seeing some more cosmic adventures in the future.
Okay, grounded. Back to the absence. I can't.
Kansas.
It's.
And there we go, as we are set for more fun action in issue 6 with the huge cliffhanger of what's going to happen to the family feud. And here we see Carol trying to hold Janice Vale back from beating the crap out of Hulkling. So,
oh, my boys. They're bringing my boys. They only mention my boys when they need to ruin them. Why? Why?
So what did you think, Dalton?
It drove me to drink absinthe on camera. What do you think? Undiluted, mind you, because I don't have any sugar cubes, or I do actually have some soda water that I could have brought in, but we have yet to get the sugar cubes. So it drove me to drink undiluted absinthe on camera. What do you think?
Well, hopefully you'll be okay. Hopefully you don't see too many green fairies floating around your head there.
I took barely a sip both times because I'm not stupid, and absinthe will knock you right on your ass, but it did, in fact, drive me to drink absinthe on camera. So there's that.
I mean, I will say, again, it's an awful book. Stephen Strange is written terribly in this. The whole family sitcom piece is just bad.
I
comedy.
could write an entire TED Talk just on how badly Strange was handled here, let alone Clea and that whole. Just, there are no words that wouldn't get this yeeted off of YouTube to describe.
Yeah. Basically, you're talking 3 pages of action. Carol is a secondary character in her own title. It's all of the bad tropes that we've come to know and love from modern Marvel and modern DC. And it's just disappointing because Carol Danvers can be a great character. There's a lot of
He hasn't been since the 80s, but that's them's the breaks.
Well, no, not since the 90s. The Brian Wood run was
okay. Yeah,
good.
fair enough. Okay, fair.
Yeah. So just to kind of wrap things up, Jonah is asking you for a beer, Dalton. Let's see. Yeah,
there is no beer with a high enough alcohol content. That's apart from the fact that I just genuinely like absinthe. That is why I went with the absinthe.
Undead Quinn is calling all the letter writers Disney stands. Also says you need a shot. Cartoons and Comics Studio here. That letter definitely wasn't written by the assistant of the secretary. Here's the thing. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me if those were actually real letters from the fan base that Marvel has cultivated over the last, 5 to 6, if you want to expend it to 10 years. These are the people they've written the books for. But it's such a niche audience.
And I am within 99.9% sure that most of those people wrote those, if they were indeed written by actual people and not in-house shills, because it sticks it to the right people. But I don't think anyone on that letter page actually enjoys these things on their own merits, for there simply are no merits. And these are the sorts of people, the kind of art house shills that I talk about all the time, who view the purpose of art not as a thing in itself, but as a socio-political and moral weapon at the best of times.
No. Well, I call it the difference of they see themselves as the character versus the character as an aspirational thing.
Well, but there are plenty of characters who can do that and do that well. The problem is they didn't abide by one of the quintessential rules of self-inserting, which is you can't just insert your good qualities. You actually also have to include your bad ones or your quirks or your failures some of the time. But these characters are not even self-insert. They are wish fulfillment self-inserts. They are the person I would be if I were better at everything.
Yeah. So with that, we are going to wrap up this video here tonight. Thanks for the folks who came in. Thank you to anybody here who takes a look at it after the fact. We really appreciate it. Make sure you hit like and subscribe here to England Teens channel. Come back again for another Bad Comic Beatdown. I'm sure we'll be here next month for Captain Marvel #6. Dalton,
And yes, I will bring the absinthe again. But
Yep.
you can also find me on my own channel, which is the Authenticator. Although in honesty, I hardly ever post there. But I do have several weekly podcasts that I do. One of which is called The Duality of Man. It is a channel I share with Mr. E2099. It is a men's rights and men's issues podcast, and we do that as weekly as we can on Wednesdays at 5:30. I also do a geek news and politics roundup stream with the Brainstormer of Pop Culture called Podcast The Storm. We just passed 250 episodes actually on that, so you can find me there. You can also find me here every other Tuesday doing the Marvel role-playing game with Maranya and several of the regulars on this channel. We have a good time doing that as well. So, yeah, those are the places you can find me.
Great. So, and Jonah, I'm going to say, why don't you reach out to Dalton on X or Twitter?
He did. He sent me something on Discord right after he sent that. I assume that's the thing he wants me to look over, which I will do as soon as the stream is over, because I can't multitask while the stream is running. Otherwise, it will yeet me from the stream because I'm on my phone. So,
yeah. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We will see you for another Bad Comic Beatdown. Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys.